What's up, Ryan from Boostrodeo here. I hope you are having an awesome day. So we are back at it again with Project Rock'n'Rolla, our E18 Corolla rally car project. If you've been following the build, you know that we finally got the car up and running, we got a couple races in, and then we got called out by another local channel, the G-Force Monkeys. They have a E18 Corolla just like ours, so we went head to head to see who had the faster rally car Corolla.
I graciously bow to Boostrodeo.
I really recommend you guys go check out their channel. You can do that right here. Also recommend that you guys go watch the video where we went head to head. You can check that out here. Seriously, just go check it out. Pause. Like, I'll wait. No, seriously, I got time. I'll just hang out and you guys can come right back and then we'll get into this. You know what I'm talking about. All right, now that you're back and you know what's up. After that race, they just kind of had open track time, so we were just getting some open laps in, getting a feel for the car, and unfortunately, we let Josh drive.
You guys want to take a guess who was driving when this happened? Always.
We sent it. Literally, we sent a wheel about 200 yards all the way across the track on him.
What the fuck?
So it's right here if you want to go check that out here and see the destruction. It was pretty rad, actually. But unfortunately, our prized Panasport wheels that we searched so hard to find in a 114.3 four-lug bolt pattern were compromised when it flew off the axle and several hundred yards. So we did lose one wheel stud on the axle. We've got to replace that. That's not a big deal. The bigger deal is what happened to our wheel. So as you guys can see, that is no longer round. So you can see we've got one good one left where the stud snapped off. We've got one that's okay, and we've got two that are just completely augered out, which is no good. So unfortunately, that cost us a race this last weekend already. So for now, to get us back on the road, I'm gonna be trying to fix this wheel today. This is something that I've never done before. Fortunately, the wheels are aluminum and not magnesium, so we're gonna give a shot to welding them and re-drilling those bolt holes and see what we end up with. So let's get to it. So the good news is I got that one to weld in pretty good. So you can see that we're back to being over round. So we can drill that, file that flat and drill it back out. The bad news is, if you look right there, our wheel decided to crack for some reason. We must have had some stress under it, or I know one of the wheels had a bend in it. And so putting all that heat to it and the rapid heating and cooling and having a little warp in there might have caused it to crack. So that's a huge bummer. I can try welding that crack. I guess the wheel was a lost cause to start with, so why not at this point? It was more of an experiment to see if we could even weld it, and I kind of wanted to play around. I thought we were going to win this one until that last one cracked there, so bummer. Guess that's the way it goes though. All right, so we're going to see what we can do on the crack. So I think that went okay. I had to I had to set my AEC balance all the way to cleaning just because this stuff, I mean, isn't that I can't tell if the aluminum they use to forge it with is not that clean or if it's just years of brake dust and all that stuff that you really can't get out. So I could tell the cleaning was helping a lot. Because my bead is not all that shiny, even running a lot of post flow. But it melted in okay. Our hole is filled. So I'm gonna go home, put some kids to bed. But next time we'll try drilling these out and see what we get. I mean, we might have just saved our wheel or at least got ourselves a spare. That's a win, not bad for my first shot at it, I guess. So we're gonna hit this again tomorrow, which will actually be right now for you guys technically. So to make sure that the holes in our wheel get re-drilled exactly, we're gonna use our old axle that we destroyed in a previous episode. And we cut off the flange. We're gonna pop out one of these studs and drill out the hole and use the other 3 to center on the good lug nut holes. That way we can drill the holes in the wheels that we had to weld up and know that the bolt pattern is gonna stay exact.
Nope. See if I've got another one this side. Oh, it's bigger. It looks like shit.
Doesn't like that.
Mm-mm.
Doesn't like that, does it?
No.
Drilling out that axle flange just did not go well. We had 3 different 11/16 bits, which is the size that we needed, and we sharpened them all about 3 times trying to get one to cut, and just no dice. So I went ahead and actually ordered a quality bit. This one's high strength steel, and it's from Precision Twist Drill. So it's about a $30 bit, so we'll see if this one gets it done, and we're on to day 3 of working on this thing. So here we just had some parts show up. They are overnight parts from Great Britain. So these are a set of hub-centric rings, and these are actually the only ones that I could find that spanned the crazy difference between our wheel center holes and the Corolla hubs. So I had to order them all the way from England. And these are just so we could find something that would fit the inside diameter here to space the center bore on our wheels perfectly against our cut up axle flange. Having this center on the hub and this center on the one remaining hole that's still true will allow us to use this as a guide and make sure that the other ones that we punch are perfectly aligned. Also, as a side note, you should always be running hub-centric rings if your wheels are not matched to your hubs. It's just a good safety thing. You don't want your lug nuts carrying all the weight of the vehicle. So that went a little better. Now that we got the axle flange punched, we can go ahead and bolt that onto our wheel and start drilling these things back out and get them true. Now that we got the wheel all square, the only thing left to do is to get the axle sorted. Hey, we still got all our splines. The axle looks good, the flange checked out square, so we're just gonna go ahead and pop the studs out of this thing and get some new ones in there and slap it back in. so we got the axle back in, I got the drum back on. Everything looks good, which kind of blows my mind because that was a ton of shock that this thing took when we sent that wheel. And it is straight up ridiculous how much dirt was packed in this thing. So overall, that actually didn't go that bad. Like I said, that's the very first time I've ever tried fixing a wheel, and I think we pulled it off and might have saved it. It took us 3 separate days, but that's not uncommon. I mean, projects always take longer than you think. Things come up where you need a new tool, like we had to get a drill bit, or you find more parts that were broken, or you get the wrong parts in hand. Something like that always goes wrong. And then when you throw having kids and a family into the mix and trying to juggle being home with them and setting priorities, it's honestly just kind of how it goes when you're trying to juggle race car life and dad life all at the same time. So we'll catch you guys in the next one, and hopefully we'll have the Corolla running by then, or we'll be on to one of our other projects. Later.